Tapping into health, what scientists are discovering about the healing power of touch. You did not have to have your tinfoil hats, but if you do, you may want to put them on now because this is a little bit of a woo topic, but we do like to bring information that you might not run into on your own. So here we go. What we're going to cover today, the science behind touch, healing methods using touch, and of those, we're going to talk about acupressure, acupuncture, emotional freedom tapping, EFT, and having touch. Now, I am not a medical practitioner, nor do I play one at work. So please do your own research. If you have questions, or it's always wise to check in with your primary care physician if you're going to try any of these. Although I will say they're pretty innocuous. I'm not sure that any of these are going to cause you any problems, but I do want to just say that please do your own research. But here we go. All right, so we're going to get started with the science behind touch. So touch is our very first language. So before we can talk, or even with little children now, that they're sometimes teaching some sign language before they're verbal, which is actually pretty cool, like milk or mama or daddy or whatever. But before we even have that, we rely on touch. Touch is our very first language. And if you think about it, skin is our largest organ, right? So all these sensory receptors that are in skin, they are constantly communicating information to us. They are directly connected to the nervous system. And research has actually demonstrated that touch is a biological necessity. Infants literally cannot survive without touch. And especially in the first hour after birth, that skin to skin contact has been shown very important. It helps regulate the newborn's temperature, their heart rate, and breathing, and it actually decreases crying. Now, maybe you've heard of the term kangaroo care, and that's a medical practice for premature infants or low birth rate infants that involve holding the baby against the parent's bare chest. And again, that just underlines how important touch is to us. So let me just tell you a little bit about this. We studied this when I was in school. I was a psych major. I found this very disturbing, honestly. I really hated the experiment because of the stress it put the little monkeys through, and I still don't like it, but it did give scientists insight into the importance of touch, which we now understand. So how this worked was there was this is really probably the most famous research at that time pointing to our need for touch. So what they did is they gave them a wire mother, which is that construct you see there, and it had the bottle. So that mother was where they would be fed. And then they gave the little monkeys a surrogate mother that had terry cloth on it. And so they gave them the choice of the mother that would feed them or the mother that had some tactile comfort. And the mother with the terry cloth, the tactile comfort won out. They preferred that because even though they were hungry or after they were hungry, they still went to the mother. So food may be necessary for survival, but touch is what sustains us. There's actually a term called touch starvation or touch deprivation, and this can have significant negative effects on both physical and mental. So as far as mental health effects, it can lead to increased stress, anxiety, depression. It can trigger a loneliness alarm in the brain, leading us to feeling disconnected and isolated. It can cause us difficulty managing our emotions. It can make it harder for us to not get overwhelmed by emotional lows and stress. It also can impair our cognitive function, difficulty thinking, and even a condition called decision paralysis. So without enough touch, individuals may feel unsure and overwhelmed, even by small decisions. Isn't that interesting? So what does it do for us physically? Oh boy. Well, touch starvation can weaken our immune system, making us more susceptible to illness. It can elevate our heart rate and blood pressure. So stress hormones are released in response to this touch starvation, and that can lead to increased heart rate and blood pressure. And then sleep disturbances. It can disrupt our sleep patterns. That can lead to fatigue and other sleep-related issues. It can have impact on our digestive system, and then overall an increased risk of chronic diseases. And in one of the prior webinars, Stepping into Health, I talked quite a bit about chronic disease and the what scientists have discovered about the causes of these chronic conditions. Okay, societal and behavioral effects. Increased loneliness and isolation. People can feel disconnected and alone. Can cause problems for us forming secure attachments, healthy attachments in relationship. And then compensating behaviors, taking long baths, using weighted blankets, cuddling with pets, any way to compensate for that lack of physical touch. Lots of research on the effects of touch. Research shows just 20 seconds of nurturing touch can release oxytocin, right? That is the bonding hormone. And it's the hormone that's released after mothers give birth. And it makes us feel really good. Touch has been shown to lower cortisol, which is our main stress hormone, by as much as 30% in some studies, right? So I don't know if you know what cortisol is, but it's not our friend. It's there for a reason, but we're chronically stressed. That cortisol can create problems, including massive weight gain. So the stress response, and as I said, it's not our friend when it's turned on all the time. And even brief human touch has measurable effects on heart rate variability, which is an indicator of vagus nerve activation. Now, if that's Greek to you, I encourage you to go back and listen to Tuning into Health, what scientists are discovering about the healing power of frequencies. And in that, I go into depth about the vagus nerve and heart rate variability. So but I'm going to touch a little bit on that as we go on because it ties in. So summary, basically, touch is one of our most basic needs, right? It is vital for our neuronal development. It helps reduce stress, anxiety, loneliness, promotes feelings of trust and emotional. Regular positive touch can reduce all of that and stimulate the release of oxytocin, and it's been shown to boost our immune system, lower blood pressure, and activate the vagus nerve, rest and digest response. So put a pin in that. We're going to come back to that. Okay. So healing methods, we're going to talk about some of these, and there are many, many, many different modalities. There's acupressure, acupuncture, chiropractic adjustment. If you've been to chiropractor, craniosacral therapy, which I probably pronounced that wrong, emotional freedom tapping, cavity touch, healing touch, massage, reflexology, and shiatsu. So we could go through all of these, but we're going to just focus on acupressure, acupuncture, EFT, and having touch. Okay. Mainly because these are very easy to incorporate into your daily life, as you will see. Let's talk about acupressure and acupuncture. So both of these are based in traditional Chinese medicine. TCM. So these practices go back a long, long ways, right? Predating Western civilization. And they both are based on, it's called energy pathways, or meridians is the term. And meridians, this is a core concept in traditional Chinese medicine, and it's the foundation for both acupuncture and acupressure. So if you want to think of these as some sort of information highway connecting these different organs, and you may have heard the term qi. Qi is what traditional Chinese medicine calls the energy flowing through these meridians. And they view the body as a whole integrated system with mind, body, spirit all being connected. And that life force or vital force or vitality, that which fills the body, the qi, is moving via these meridians. Okay? Now, meridians. Qi moves constantly through these meridians, connecting all the organs and tissues. And along these pathways are acupoints, right? Talk about acupressure, acupoints, specific anatomical locations where we can influence this qi. And whether we access this qi through acupressure or acupuncture, it helps to resolve these imbalances, returning us to a state of health. So in TCM, health means the smooth flow of this energy. And whether it's blockage, stagnation, or imbalances, that's what's causing us problems. So basically, when our chi is flowing freely through us, we're healthy and feeling good. So these meridians, there's 14 meridians for humans. There's 12 main ones, and they're each linked to a specific organ. Okay. And both acupuncture and acupressure use these same meridians. Now, it's nice to know that they have meridian charts for horses. Horses like us have 12 major meridians. There's also a meridian chart for doggies and also for cats. So if you're interested in perhaps helping your little pet relax, you might want to check out some of these acupressure charts. So we basically, the difference is acupuncture, we got usually the needles that go in specific points. It's considered invasive, but with acupressure, we're just using uh, pressure points, okay, usually with our hands, and both are aimed at balancing the body's chi. So you can do acupressure yourself, and that little chart will be in your handout. So to get you introduced to acupressure, we're going to start with 10 easy access acupressure points, okay? And the acupressure points on the hands offer the most easy access. So we're going to talk about those. And these hand pressure points are used to relieve stress, anxiety, depression, sleep better, reduce headaches. So we're going to look at each point as we go through these. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them, but I do want you to know where they are. And again, they will be in a handout at the end. So don't worry about trying to remember them because you're going to get a handout that's going to show you where these are and what relief they're purported to give you. Okay. So let's just kind of go through this. How you use acupressure is you're going to locate a point and you're going to use your fingers or thumbs. Okay. And you're going to apply steady pressure for like 5 seconds. Okay? Apply firm, steady pressure to the point for 5 seconds. Now, while you're doing this, you can breathe. And there's a thing called box breathing. There's a 4 count, 6 count, depending on your lung capacity and how you feel about it. But it's basically you breathe in for 4 counts, hold, and exhale through your mouth. So in through your nose for 4, hold for 4, out through your mouth. You can do that as you're applying your pressure. So you're going to focus your breath and take these slow breaths. And then slowly massage in a circular motion for 2 minutes and then repeat on the other hand. And this will be in your handout too. Okay, so let's go through some of these points quickly. So the spirit gate, and I love these names. I just think this is, I don't know, it's just intriguing and mystical and, great. So the spirit gate is on your inner wrist increase directly down from your pinky finger. Okay. Follow down from the pinky finger. And applying pressure here is supposed to help with anxiety, stress, insomnia, irritability, and just palpitations. I'm laughing about irritability because it's like, okay, let's print that out and take it home, especially around this holiday season. All right, the inner frontier gate. Love this. 3 fingers width from the wrist increase. Okay. 3 finger wrist on the wrist increase. And this will help with anxiety, nausea, motion sickness, insomnia relief. Remember, these are all things you can do yourself. The tripper warmer or the outer frontier gate, outer side of the forearm, back of the wrist, 2 finger widths from the wrist crease, and headaches, migraines, neck pain, stiffness, relief from pain in the elbows, forearms, and wrists. Then we have the backstream side of the hand, just below the pinky finger, just above the hand, first large increase. This point offers relief from headache, earache, neck pain, and upper back pain. I need that one. And then the LU, lung meridian, and this points from the thumb on down, from the tip of the thumb on down. And this is for cold symptoms, sore throat, sneezing, and chills. Wrist point 1 on the wrist increase, same line as our pinky. This helps us manage our emotions, reduce anxiety, and promotes happiness. And then we have the base of the thumb point. well named, right at the base of your thumb on the wrist increase for breathing and respiratory issues. The hand valley point, the back of the hand between the thumb and index finger in the web, okay, in the web. Gently massage this point if you want to relieve anxiety, stress, headaches, toothache, neck pain, stiffness, and also for a better night's sleep. You have the 10 dispersions. These are the fingertips of each hand on the underside, not on the nail bed, okay? Stimulating these points is going to help offer relief from common flu symptoms, sore throat, high fever. The foreseams on the inside of the fingers does not include the thumb, okay? So all thumbs are fingers, but not all fingers are thumbs, all right? Purported to help with gastrointestinal and digestive issues. And again, this is in your handout, so you can keep this printed out and give this a go yourself. Very, very easy to use acupressure. So, okay, so if you want a less hands-on approach, no pun intended, there's a lot of gizmos on the market for sale, okay? There's hand pressing tools. So if using your fingers is not enough, you can gently jab yourself with one of these things. And then we have rolling and massaging tools. I don't know if you've been to physical therapy, which I have, and they used that green thing on me and it hurt like heck. But I guess it did some good. And then acupressure mats for those of you who enjoy laying on incredibly painful, prickly things. You can get these on Amazon. And then we have wearable tools, which are these little wristbands and that kind of purple hamma jamma thing. I don't know what that does, but looking at the picture, it has something to do with your foot. That makes it look a little bit more friendly, doesn't it? And then electronic devices. And these are basically uh, similar to the hand pressing tool, that first one, except it's got a little current to it. And then that clicker thing, which looks like what my chiropractor uses. Now we're going to get into my favorite topic, emotional freedom tapping. It's sometimes called tapping. And what this does is it combines acupressure, what we've been talking about, with modern psychology. It was a more recent development. It was developed in 1990. With EFT, you're going to gently tap on those acupressure points. And what I like about this is it's no longer fringe, okay, like the tinfoil hats, like I joke about in the beginning. This is now mainstream in a lot of ways, even though you haven't heard of it. There's millions of people that use this with success. Clinical research says it can reduce cortisol. That's the hormone that's released when we're under stress and does a lot of things, including making fat. It can improve our emotional regulation. You know, sometimes when you're just exhausted, our emotions are really close to the surface, and it's hard not to get triggered, and it's hard not to react, sometimes poorly. It can help in healing from trauma, right? Anxiety, chronic pain, and depression. So this is being studied all over the world in hospitals, clinical trials. And so with this, we're beginning to bridge that ancient wisdom from traditional Chinese medicine to modern science. So your sympathetic and your parasympathetic nervous systems, they are part of your central nervous system. And we're going to see in a minute how these two systems complement each other, okay, because they each affect each other. And together they help us achieve homeostasis. So your sympathetic nervous system, and I talk about this in the prior webinar, this is the seat of your fight, flight, or freeze response. And its sole purpose is to keep you alive. Yes, meridians and lymphatic systems are correlated. They appear to be, from what I've learned. So your sympathetic nervous system, your fight, flight, or freeze, right? This is what keeps you alive. Its sole purpose is to keep you alive. And when it's triggered, basically you become on autopilot. If you've ever been frightened or been in an accident, somehow you kind of just, your body does things that your mind is not engaging in, because that's what this is taken over. And to do what it needs to do, it's going to increase your heart rate, your blood pressure, your pupils are going to dilate. You start breathing deeper. It's going to cut off digestion because you don't need to digest if you're going to die. It's going to divert the energy to your muscles, and that adrenaline and glucose is going to hit your system, right? So this is very, very, very life-saving. But when it's turned on all the time, This is not healthy. And unfortunately, our brain does not know the difference between a real and perceived threat. So a lot of us are living with our stress system turned on constantly. So now the parasympathetic system, this is the seat of the rest and digest response. Its purpose is to conserve energy and maintain calm. So what this does, it slows the heart rate, it constricts the pupils, stimulates digestion, relaxes the muscles, and helps the body recover from stress. So these two work together, but they have opposing functions. Okay, let's take a little look at the vagus nerve because it's tied into the parasympathetic nervous system. It's going to come up in the video I'm going to show you. So basically starts in the brainstem, it travels all the way down the neck. It branches out to your heart, your lungs. And again, this is part of that parasympathetic nervous system that calms us down. So when the vagus nerve is stimulated, that takes us out of fight, flight, and freeze. And one of the strongest ways we can activate the vagus nerve is through touch. Now let's bridge that. How does tapping calm the body and the mind? Well, it activates the parasympathetic nervous system because it's using those acupoints, right? It's tapping into the chi, the flow of this energy, and also activating the vagus nerve and calming us down, right? So that reduces the release of stress hormones, basically, right? Setting off the sympathetic system. It interrupts our anxious and nervous thought patterns, and it promotes self-acceptance, and it rebalances our energy flow. Now, there's lots of people out there, but I am a fan of Dr. Alan Mendel. He's a doctor of chiropractic. He has millions of YouTube followers, of which I'm one. He's very easy to find. He provides natural drug-free health solutions, and he focuses on the root cause of symptoms. There's two different ways to use EFT. You do the process verbalizing the issue, we heard about the issue at each tapping point, and then do it again, stating the new condition. Okay. So in the first round, you state the issue. I'm living in fear about my future, whatever the issue is. I'm worried about my financial state. And then the second round, you state the new system. Even though I'm living in fear about my future, I have gotten through every tough situation. I deserve to have financial flow. Money comes easy to me. So that's one way of doing it. Another one is to combine it all in one round, state the issue and the desired state together at each tapping point. So you will see different methodologies depending on who you're following. And you can think of these two as affirmations, positive, and that's you can use that with these, which is part of stating the positive state. Okay.
I'd like to share a technique with you that's going to work with your brain and body. You might be suffering from pain, anxiety, insomnia, weight gain, depression, or regardless whatever symptom you are suffering from, the power of your body has the ability to repair and heal. And what you're about to experience can actually change your life. We're going to do tapping throughout 9 parts of our body. These areas that we're going to tap on in our facial area as well as our chest are going to stimulate sensory nerves. These nerves will travel back to the central nervous system affecting the brain. This will increase the parasympathetic nervous system to allow your body to relax, to allow your body to repair and heal. So whatever emotional or physical stresses that you're suffering from right now, as we stimulate these certain points, we're stimulating meridians. These meridians work through our body, through the meridian channels. As we stimulate these acupressure points along these meridians, this chi energy is going to help your body get back into homeostasis so your body can repair and heal. So let's get familiar with these healing points. Our first point is known as the karate chop. It's located on the outside of the hand on the little finger side. Our second point is located just inside the eyebrows on both sides. Our third point is just on the outside of the eyes. Our fourth point is just under the eyes. Our fifth point is just under the nose. Our sixth point is located just below the bottom lip in the crease in the front of the chin. Our seventh point is located where the top of the collarbone connects to the sternal area. You'll come down 1 inch and out 1 inch. Our 8th point is 4 inches down from under the armpit. And our last point is exactly right on top of the vertex of the head. So here is what we need to do to help you heal. I want you to address your condition: anxiety, pain, depression, insomnia, overweight, whatever it is. Whatever problem that you are suffering from, I want you to address it. I want you to recognize what your problem is. That's number one. And so while you think about this problem that you have, we're going to do our tapping. By the end of the tapping, which is a short period of time, you are physiologically going to feel different. Then we're going to tap through these different points one more time. And then your mindset, your attitude, your thinking pattern is going to change. You're going to put different words into your mind. Like, I am in the process of feeling better right now. I feel so much more relaxed, because you're going to feel what you're going to say. This is what's going to get you better. So now I want you to follow along as I take you through the entire process of what we need to do to get well. I'm going to address my condition as stress, anxiety, which is an extremely common thing worldwide. Your condition could be something else, but for practical purposes, follow along so you get to understand exactly what we need to do. Now, for the areas that we're going to contact that are bigger, you can use 4 fingers. For the smaller areas, which are most of them, we can use 1 or 2 fingers, whatever is comfortable. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our first point right here. In this point, I'm going to address in my mind, I feel lots of stress, I have lots of anxiety. We're going to tap our point about 8 seconds, then we'll go to the other side. Okay, I feel lots of stress. Okay, I feel stress. It's hard to deal with stress. And just tap along with me. Second point, we're going to go just inside the eyebrows. Okay, just inside the eyebrows. And we're going to tap just thinking about our anxiety points. You don't have to keep saying it. Just think about that, what you have. And after you do that, we're going to go to our third point, which is just going to be outside the eyes. Okay, just outside the eyes. Okay, and just think about your problem. Keep tapping. You can use 1 or 2 fingers. After our third point, we're going to go to our fourth point, which is going to be underneath the eyes. Okay, right underneath the eyes. Okay, if you have glasses, you can take it off. I'm leaving them on for the purpose of just showing you what we need to do. Okay, keep tapping. You can use 2 fingers, whatever's comfortable. Keep thinking about your condition. Now we're going to go right underneath the nose. I like to use 1 finger here. I still feel my stresses, my anxiety. This is making your body go through physiological changes right now. Okay, as we continue our points, we'll go for our 6th point directly underneath the lower lip in the groove, right in front of our chin, right there. Good, right there. Keep tapping. About 8, 9, 10 seconds. You can tap longer at home if you like to. Next point, right where the collarbone meets the sternal area. We'll come down 1 inch and out 1 inch. And you can use several fingers. Just keep tapping right here. It's a great point. This is stimulating sensory nerves back to the brain. We have lots of things happening right now. Just keep tapping. And now after this point, the 7th point, we'll go to our 8th point, underneath the armpit, 4 inches down. 4 inches down. You can do on one side. Okay, you can just do one side if you like. I always like to do both. Okay, you can come to the other side, 4 inches down from the armpit. And our last point, a very powerful point, is going to be directly in the top of the vertex of the skull. And we'll come right on top of the skull. You can tap right on top. Good. Now, after this point, we're going to take 1 deep breath. Breathe in through your nose. I want you to blow it out. Blow it out. Deep breath. Blow it out of your mouth. All you can blow out. Come on, blow it out. Blow that stress out. And right now, you're going to feel your body slowing down. Regardless of what condition you're suffering from, the anxiety, the pain, the tension, whatever it is, you are physiologically working differently. And now what we'll do is that we'll go back to the same points again briefly. And now I want you to think how you feel. I feel more relaxed. I feel as if things are improving. I feel more joy. I feel more comfortable. Whatever these subliminal messages that you're thinking right now as you feel differently than before, I want you to repeat it to yourself. You can say it out loud. You can say it to yourself. And we're going to go briefly back through these points again just to allow that stimulation to change as our mind has changed, because physiologically we have changed. Our first point is going to be our karate chop. Stimulate it. Think to yourself, feel to yourself right now how you're feeling. I feel so much more relaxed. I feel more tranquil. I feel like this day is just going to be so beautiful. Things are going to continue to go just right for me. And I'm just happy. Our second point, just inside the eyebrows. Okay, you're going to continue to tap. Keep thinking those messages as you continue to tap. Third point, on the side of the eye, directly on the side of the eye. Okay, you're going to continue to tap 1 or 2 fingers, feeling that message in your brain that you feel more comfortable, you feel more relaxed, you feel more tranquil, you feel more serene. Okay, and the fourth point is going to be directly under the eyes. All right, still feeling those messages, feeling the difference in your body, how it's starting to wind down, how it's starting to change, because physiologically we are changing right now. Underneath the nose, keep tapping. After the nose, we're going to go under the chin, still feeling those messages, those beautiful, tranquil messages, feeling our body relax, feeling the muscles relax, feel the calmness just flowing through our body. After the 6th point, we're going to go where the collarbone meets the sternal area, 1 inch down, 1 inch out, as you continue to tap that area. And then after this point, we're going to go underneath the armpit, 4 inches down on both sides. You could do one. Okay, it's hard to do both together. Keep feeling that feeling, what you're feeling, the difference where you started before. You'll do the other one. And after this one, we'll go back on top of the vertex of the skull, right over the head. Very powerful point, and just feel the tranquility. And I can guarantee that 99% of you are feeling differences right now because you are going through physiological changes throughout your brain and body. Drop your arms, take a deep breath again through your nose. Blow it out of your mouth. And now you are in the process of healing. I want you to do this technique once, twice, 3 times a day. Start doing it every day. You will see within no time tremendous changes of healing throughout your body. Please share this with your friends and family. Leave your comments below, and most important, make it a great day. I'm Dr. Alan Mandel.
Okay, so this EFT sequence is in your handout. Just to remember you, the karate point, these little spots, okay? Okay, other healing methods using touch. Before we go into having touch, I'm going to play another quick video from Dr. Mandel about the healing power of touch because I think it's relevant, and I think he made some really good points. So here comes the disclaimer.
I want to prove to you how powerful your body is right now, how it can heal itself with your own touch. When we touch, cuddle, hug, or even holding hands, our body releases the feel-good hormones. These hormones include oxytocin, dopamine, as well as serotonin. And these hormones are released into our bodies as we experience the feelings of happiness, relaxation, improved mood, and lower levels of depression. And hugging gives us a sense of relaxation and instant calmness. It increases our parasympathetic nervous system. Just hugging someone else, hugging a pet, increases oxytocin. And that hormone can do wonders when it comes to healing of our bodies. And when you need to get that hug from your nearest and dearest, it's quite therapeutic and healing for our body. But do we always have to wait for that to happen? Absolutely no. And that's what this technique is about. It's about learning to hug yourself, because self-hugging may sound a little awkward, even silly, but it's a real thing. As medical science and research shows that hugging can help reduce pain, as well as endorphins to give you a sense of calmness, happiness, and serenity. And there's no doubt that healing comes from touch. And if it's someone else touching us, or we touch ourselves as if we're hugging ourselves, this secretes these neurotransmitters, and it also promotes relaxation since it lowers the level of cortisol, the stress hormone in your body. And when you're having a hard day, you're stressed out, you may feel lonely and depressed, you need to do this little technique. Take your arms, wrap it around your body. You can wrap it around your other arm, you can wrap it around your ribs. There's no right or wrong way. Now when you do so, you're going to squeeze, you're going to touch your body. You can actually use your fingers. And I want you to imagine what that hug is feeling like inside of you. The type of emotion you want to give out to someone else is what you're going to give yourself. You're going to feel the warmth. As you do this, the brain gets confused because it will remove pain. It will get rid of anxiety. It will take away lots of depression as these particular neurotransmitters and hormones are being secreted from your brain into your body. So as you do so, you can actually start moving side to side, just like a baby when they're being rocked. You can close your eyes, you can listen to music, you can give yourself subliminal messages and tell yourself, I love you. I got this. This day is going to be great. I'm in the process of making great things happen in my life. And whatever subliminal messages you want to give yourself, that's when you want to start doing it. Because your subconscious mind is hearing everything that you're saying. It's a 24-hour recorder. And as you keep hugging yourself little bits at a time throughout the day, as days go on, you will see amazing changes within your life. And I know that many of you may feel a little awkward or funny doing this, but I promise you, the research is there. This can do wonders for the health and wealth of your body. Please share this video with your friends and family. Leave your comments below, and most important, make it a great day. I'm Dr. Alan Mandel.
Okay, so I thought that was relevant because again, it's going back to the research behind it and the fact that this really does help. Nice thing about this is that you could do this during meetings and people will think you're either cold or very defensive. So, but it is something you can get away with just out there. All right. So really quickly, we're almost done. I'm very sorry I ran you over. What is Having Touch? Well, it was developed by a doctor, and it's using gentle touch and distraction techniques to create a sense of safety and facilitate emotional processing. So it involves basically just using gentle touch with affirmations to kind of self-calm yourself. And it's just in 3 areas of the body. It's very simple. This will be in your handout too, okay? Very good for, let's see, reducing anxiety, stress, all these other good things, grief and sadness, persistent feelings of fear or panic, again, back to that unwanted stress hormone. So the first one is brushing the palms against each other, either straight or in a circular motion, very, very simple. And again, there's only 3. And then rubbing your hands up and down your shoulders. Again, you can do this pretending that you're trying to warm up. Okay. And then the last one, and I love this one. This is kind of stroking your face. I find this one very, very soothing to me. Very soothing. There is one practitioner I particularly like. Her name is Dr. Kim Duramo. Anyway, she is on YouTube. I love her energy, and her link, her will be in the handout. So there you go. In summary, let's say basically we understand touch now is more than comfort. They lower stress hormones. It can balance our nervous system and activate our body's innate healing system. All right. So I thank you so much for your time, and just remember that you carry the healing power of touch in your own hands. I hope you will actually practice these, hopefully daily, and use them to increase your sense of calm and remind yourself of your body's natural ability to heal. Thank you very much.